EKGK Kids.
The Elephant's Friends. One day an elephant felt lonely. There were no other elephants where he lived. So he wandered into the forest to try to find new friends. The elephant saw a rabbit on the ground. He asked him if he wanted to be friends. But the rabbit said, "You are too big to play with me. You would not fit in my burrow if we wanted to play inside." Elephant saw a monkey in a tree. "Will you be my friend, monkey?" he asked. Monkey said, "You are too big. You cannot swing from tree to tree with me. I cannot be your friend." Then Elephant met a frog. "Will you be my friend?" asked the elephant. The frog answered, "You are too big to play leapfrog and other frog games. I cannot be your friend." The elephant began to feel bad. He did not like being alone without friends. All elephants like to have friends. Then Elephant saw a deer. "Will you be my friend?" he asked the deer. The deer said, "Mr. Elephant, you are just too big to be my friend." Then something happened. The elephant saw all the animals in the forest running for their lives. "What is the matter?" Elephant called. A wild pig shouted, "There is a tiger in the forest. He is trying to catch one of us to eat us." The wild pig ran away with the other animals. The elephant walked up to the tiger. "Mr. Tiger, please leave the animals in this forest alone. Mind your own business," growled the tiger, "or I will eat you." The elephant made a trumpeting sound with his long trunk. Then he picked up the tiger with his trunk and threw him into the air. When the tiger landed, the elephant used his trunk to swap the tiger on its backside. The frightened tiger ran for his life. The elephant walked back into the forest and called out, "You are all safe now." The animals had seen what the elephant had done. All the animals thanked the elephant. Then they said, "You are just the right size to be our friend."
The Crackpot. Once upon a time there was a water bear in India who had two large pots, each hung on each end of a pole, which he carried across his neck. One of the pots had a crack in it, and while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water at the end of the long walk from the stream to the master's house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For a full 2 years this went on daily, with the bear delivering only 1.5 pot full of water in his master's house. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishment, perfect to the end for which it was made. But the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection, and miserable that it was able to accomplish only half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be a bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer one day by the stream. "I am ashamed of myself, and I want to apologize to you." "Why?" asked the bear. "What are you ashamed of?" "I have been able, for these past 2 years, to deliver only half my load because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your master's house. Because of my flaws, you have to do all of this work, and you don't get full value from your efforts," the pot said. The water bear felt sorry for the old cracked pot, and in his compassion he said, "As we return to the master's house, I want you to notice the beautiful flowers along the path. Indeed, as they went up the hill, the old cracked pot took notice of the sun warming the beautiful wild flowers on the side of the path, and this cheered it some. But at the end of the trail, it still felt bad because it had leaked out half its load, and so again it apologized to the bearer for its failure. The bearer said to the pot, "Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of your path, but not on the other pot's side? That's because I've always known about your flaw, and I took advantage of it. I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back from the stream, you've watered them. For 2 years I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my master's table. Without you being just the way you are, he would not have this beauty to grace his house. Each of us has our own unique flaw, but it's the cracks and flaws we each have that make our lives together so very interesting and rewarding. You've just got to take each person for what they are and look for the good in them." The Ugly Duckling. Once near a beautiful pond, there lived a handsome duck couple. They were very excited as their babies were about to get hatched from the eggs. The papa duck was so eager to see his babies that all he could do was roam here and there in anxiety. Suddenly, what they hear is sweet little quack quacks coming from the nest, and Papa Duck just rushes to the nest to catch the first glimpse of his babies. Oh my God! They are so lovely. Suddenly a hoarse quack comes from below Mama Duck. "You are so ugly and pale. You can't be our baby." The Papa and Mama Duck along with their fur babies sail away, far away from the ugly duckling, leaving him behind in dismay, and all alone. The poor duckling doesn't know what's wrong with him. He checks his wings, his beak, his feet, but all looks fine. Suddenly he turns around and sees his reflection in the pond, and what he sees is a complete disappointment. Nobody loves me. What would I do now? Where would I go? The ugly duckling starts walking in complete sadness. So many days, weeks and months pass by and the poor ugly duckling wanders all alone in the deep forest. Suddenly he stops and feels extremely cold. Oh, it is so cold. I wish I had a warm house too. Suddenly a huge ball of snow comes rolling from behind, and the poor duckling gets caught in that and starts screaming for help. A wood cutter cutting the woods in a nearby place hears the scream of the duckling and runs for help. "Oh, poor thing. Come here. You need something warm to drink." The woodcutter picks up the ugly duckling and keeps him in the warmth of his overcoat. He takes him home and keeps him wrapped in a warm blanket right in front of the fireplace. "Don't worry, poor little thing. I will take care of you." And like this, many years passed by and the ugly duckling grew under the care of the woodcutter. But one thing he made sure. Never did he again saw his reflection again. One day on a sunny afternoon, he was wandering along the sides of a lake. Suddenly he sees a wedge of swans swimming in the pond. Look at those swans. They look so beautiful. I wish I was a beautiful duck too. I have no friends because I am so ugly. I feel so lonely. to his amazement he sees the wedge of swans coming towards him. What he sees is the most beautiful swan ever. "Hey, we have never seen you around, are you new here?" "No, live nearby with the woodcutter." "Why is that so?" "Because I am an ugly duck. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants me." Not to his surprise, he sees them laughing at him. He decides to turn back, when suddenly he hears the voice of the swan. "Wait, where are you going? See, even you guide a fun of me. That's the reason I never come out. We ate because you called yourself a duck, and I haven't such a handsome swan ever in my life." He couldn't believe what he just heard, and stood there in a state of K. After few seconds managed to say what, the bull swan held the hand of the duck and took him knee pond. "See yourself. You are a swan." The ugly duckling reluctantly bends over the water, because he does ht to see the ugly him, but what he sees leaves him all disbelief. He is not a duck. He is a swan. A handsome young swan. "I am swan." He jumps and flies and swims in sheer happiness, and then suddenly stops to thank the beautiful swan. "Thank you so much for making me know who I am." Ha! Ha! "So now that you know you are a swan, would you join our wedge? We would live together as a happy family." "Yes, I would love to do that." And then the ugly duckling, the handsome swan, jumps into the water with the rest of the swans. Moral: a diamond doesn't know its worth till it's polished.
The Lion and the Cows. Once upon a time there lived 4 cows in the forest. Every day they used to graze together in a particular spot. They were all friends. One day a lion saw the cows grazing together. The lion wanted to eat them, so he went to catch them. When the cows saw the lion, all of them fought with him. The lion had to run away. A few days passed, and the cow quarreled between and started grazing separately. One by one the lion killed all of them. Moral of the story: unity is strength. The honest cow. Once there was a herdsman by the name of Gopal. He lived a happy life near a mountain with his cows. One of his cows was named Panyankoti. Panyankoti was a mother who was very fond of her calf. At dusk, she would run back home calling out to her little one, very eager to see him. Little did she know, a lion also lived on the same mountain, and it so happened that this lion had gone hungry for many days. While wandering in the jungle in search of prey, his gaze fell on Panyankoti. Upon seeing her, the hungry lion growled to himself, "I will eat you today." Panyankoti spoke to him respectfully, "O Lord of the jungle, my hungry calf is waiting for me. I will feed my calf and then, I promise, I will come back for your meal." At first, the lion did not believe her, but when she pleaded repeatedly, he finally gave in. "All right, I trust you and will let you go. But to keep your promise, if you don't, I will never trust any animal again." Assuring the lion of her return, Panyankoti returned to the coast. While feeding her calf, she recounted the incident to all the other cows. Tears rolled down their eyes, for they did not want her to get eaten. However, a promise is a promise. With a heavy heart, everyone bid Panyankoti farewell. assuring her that they would take good care of her little one. Before departing, Pinyarkoti turned to her calf and said, "My child, all these cows are like your mother. Never trouble them." Overwhelmed by sadness, she could not speak anymore. Pinyarkoti and the lion looked at one another, and silently bid each other goodbye. Then they went their separate ways. Moral: a make promise, we should keep it up. We should never break it.